Hey everyone, welcome to Kempner Canucks. My name is RevTrev, and I'm so glad you're here because today we have just found out this evening on, February 5th, 2025, Marcus Pettersson has been signed by the Vancouver Canucks. And the big question is tonight is he worth the money? And that's a massive question. And maybe the term. So that's the question I want to put in here. And I want you to post it in the chat if you're here during the live chat or if you're watching this later. As a Canucks fan, are you happy that Marcus Pettersson signed a 6-year deal with our Vancouver Canucks? So post it in the comments what you think about this. Obviously, we're going to talk about it here tonight. And we're going to dive into a few things. And one of the main things I do want to talk about is a comparison, as people call it, of defensemen we have now, of Marcus Pettersson from not only, this year he's only played 2 games, but one of a comparison that people have, and of course we're just going to compare him to Zadorov. Why not? Because you know me, I love talking about Zadorov. He's one of my favorite players, and miss him a lot. But we'll just dive into it. So you're going to like it. Trust me, don't miss that part of the video because you're going to find it very interesting. But here, let's talk about Marcus Pettersson, or I like to call him MP3 because there's 3 Petterssons on the team. He is a good defensive defenseman. That's why they picked him up. That's why they traded for him. Now, if you've been living under a rock, let me just show you quickly. This was the trade, okay? Marcus Pettersson, Drew O'Connor for Danton Heinen, Vincent Desharnais, Fernstrom, and of course the first round pick from the Rangers, 2025. That's the one that we got in the JT Miller deal. So you know that's what it is. Okay, you know that's what it is. So he's a good defensive defenseman. We picked him up in this trade. We've played 2 games for us, and he solidified the left-hand D second defensive pairing. Okay, that's what he does by attaining him and signing him for $5.5 million for the next 6 seasons. Now, just a reminder that he is a guy who just got a raise. He just got a raise. The Canucks wanted him. The Canucks wanted to keep him around. Now he made $4.025 million last time, and so that's really important to know. That's really important to know because of that's a significant raise. Basically $1.5 million raise to stay in Vancouver. And it's exciting because I think fans will like the deal because we didn't waste that first round pick because he's not a rental. And that is good news. That is really good news. So this information is helpful because Canucks want to see some progress. They know we've been talking. A need for a puck-moving defenseman in the top 4, and the Canucks found one. I felt like it was a bit of a steep price, the first round pick part, but I mean, moving Desharnais, Heinen, Fernstrom, that didn't hurt us at all, in my opinion, and so that was good. But here's Here's part of the contract you might not know about, is that the contract details also include that Pettersson gets a full no move or no trade clause for the first 3 years of the deal, followed by a 15-team no trade in the final 3 years of the deal. So that's one of the little stipulations where he has control. And some of you are like, oh, that's great, that's wonderful. But, that's where you get into like what I would consider a little bit of trouble, because look at what happened with Miller. Basically says, I just want to go to one team. Once the Rangers figured that out, they literally fleeced us. They fleeced us, and that it is what it is. And I know that, Miller was kind of treated as, damaged goods and all that kind of stuff and trouble. But just a heads up, by the way, my Miller jersey just came in. That is gorgeous. Okay, so I miss him already, but I understand we needed to move on. It is what it is. Okay. The other thing is that Team Sweden is still in effect because you're keeping him here. You've got the other Pettersson and then EP25, who had a monster game last night against Colorado. Future looks bright for him. And, Leckermaki's in the system and Vilander's in the system. And so if you're interested in being Team Sweden, that's another positive. If that's a negative to you, then that's a negative. So the question is this a good contract? Now, do you like the term? 6 years equals that MP3 will be 35 years old when it's done. So that's a bit of an older contract, right? But the Zdorov one was going to be like that as well. And we seem to have no problem with that as well. I personally would have liked it to have been 4. But I understand what they're trying to do here. I totally understand what they're trying to do. Okay. Yeah. Okay. What's the other thing I wanted to chat about? Okay, I want to get into the comparison. I think this is the part of the video that you might find really interesting, and it's just the raw data, okay? We understand that when you watch the team and watch the game, there is a bit of a difference, but we're going to get into all that in a minute. I'm going to hit the promo, and then we'll go right into comp, which I think is going to be the best part of the video. And then we'll get into your questions and comments, and I'm looking forward to that. All right, I'll just quickly go into some comments and we'll dive into it in just a moment, okay? Japan 4 is here and says, I'm okay with this deal. Monty's here and he says, I think this is a great deal for Vancouver. And Marcus Pettersson isn't a rental. Check. I like the length. Check. I like the structure. Check. I believe it's a win. That's awesome. Carol says, I like the guy. I like the term. Oh, and I like the guy. She meant to say, and I like the guy. Okay. It's a great contract considering the fact that the cap is going to go up to $25 million. That's a good one. Good point. Let me just see what else other people are saying. Callum's like, I'm amazed in the small sample size at how freaking efficient MP3 is. That's a good point. I'm reading this signing in 2 ways. I like the dollar amount with the cap increase, and second, the second is AV and So Alvin's and Rutherford's guy, and if they're wrong about this, we have big problems. We already have big problems if we're wrong about other things. I wonder how the other new guys must feel. That's a good point. Let's just say, I'd like to say I'm happy, but I won't just yet because he needs to prove himself. I do think that's a good point, a really good point. But Hans is here and he says he's a big fan of Marcus Pettersson. This Marcus Pettersson extension, Miller trade series officially a W. Okay. Okay, let's dive in. I like this one too. Not sure if he's worth it yet. Haven't seen him play enough. Heard that he projects as a number 5 defense, and that's the Frank Saravelli quote. If that's true, you're right. It will be a major overpay. But there's other people that say he's the top 5 defensive defenseman in the entire league. So there's a controversy there. But if he's capable of playing in the top 4, then it's okay. That's exactly why they signed him. So, yeah. Okay. Let's dive in. Steve loves this contract, and Popeye says he thinks that seems like a good guy. Personalized says it's a great deal. Okay. Let's dive into this what I am going to consider the most interesting part of the video for tonight. 107 people here. Hit the like and subscribe, everyone, and thank you for being here. Okay, I wanted to compare, and I'll bring up this banner just so that you see it. Where did I put it? And this is the question I wanted to ask. Is Marcus Pettersson better than Zadorov, Chris Tanev, and Soucy? Now, I know that some of you are going to get mad the moment I say that. I get it. And part of it says I knew that the moment we signed Pettersson for this amount, that there would be a lot of fans, including myself, wondering, should have we just signed Zadorov? Everyone was like, that was way too much money and blah, blah, blah. And, but was it really? And then Dan Riccio, who I love his content. Dan does Canucks Central from 4 to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, and I think on Team Sportsnet 650. Okay, Team 10 was over, got canned. Dan Riccio says the Canucks gave Marcus Pettersson the same contract they are willing to offer Zadorov, with the 500,000 K difference, 500,000 difference accounting for the cap increase. And if you are on board with that deal for Zadorov, you should have no issue with this one. Pettersson is the better defenseman. And I pushed back just as a question because I wanted to do more research. So I said, is he really better than Zadorov? I'm going to do a bit of research on this one, and we will see. Zadorov was amazing for us, especially in the playoffs. And Dan responded, and I appreciate his response. There is more variance in Zadorov's game. He can give an incredibly high peak, as he did in the playoffs, but he can also have some spells of really poor results. Pettersson is more consistent and has proven he can play bigger minutes regularly, which is true. Pettersson plays bigger minutes more regularly, for sure. Doesn't have the highs and lows, okay? I know that, and the reason why I add Chris Tanev in here, and you're like, he doesn't play for Vancouver, has never played for Vancouver. This is the comparison that everyone says. If you like Marcus Pettersson, you'll like, if you like Chris Tanev, you'll like Marcus Pettersson, because basically the same player. Is just that MP3 is way younger, okay? But I wanted to add Soucy in there just to show you his numbers. And I'm going to show you the raw numbers now, okay? I've set this up, talked a long time to get this. So before you freak out and post anything, let's just go over the stats and the numbers for a minute, okay? So I need to move this down a little bit so you can kind of see me a little better. There's a lot of information on here. This is my favorite comp, okay? So let's just look at Zadorov's numbers when he played in Vancouver, okay? And if you notice, look at the numbers of games, okay? So you're talking about Zadorov from last year with Vancouver, Zadorov this year with Boston, Soucy this year with Vancouver, and Pettersson with Pittsburgh from last season, okay? Chris Tanev, or Pettersson with just the 2 games, which is hardly anything to talk about. But then Chris Tanev for the Toronto Maple Leafs this year, again, 52. So around the 50 games mark, and then we'll talk about the playoffs, okay? So if you look at these stats, don't look at the playoff stats yet first. Well, you can do whatever you want. So look at this. Zadorov compared to Pettersson last year to this year. Actually, let's do all three of them at the same time. And let's do them all. Okay. Zadorov has had 5 goals in Vancouver at 14 points. Okay, only has 2 goals, but he has 11 points in Boston. Soucy has 2 goals and 8 points. Okay, Pettersson last season had 3 goals, 15 assists. Oh, and I meant to put 18 points there. My apologies, not 8 points. My apologies. I knew I was going to mess up somewhere. But look at the penalty minutes. Look at the penalty minutes. Zadorov loves to be in the penalty box. Now, part of it is because he fights. It's part of it because he might get kicked out of a game for a big hit, whatever it is, but way more penalty minutes. His plus minus has gone up in Boston. Then you look at his blocked shots, okay? In Vancouver, he had 49. He's got 79 in Boston. His hits are gigantuous for that. Like and you know him. And then he's also averaged 3 more minutes a game in Boston, but his giveaways have been horrendous in Boston. And that is the thing, is I think he played his best hockey in Vancouver, but he went from $3.75 million in that 4-year contract with Calgary and Vancouver, and he got the raise for $5 million times 6. Look at Soucy, okay? So he's at 8 points, 42 penalty minutes, minus 15. That is awful, but the Canucks have been pretty bad this year. 84 block shots, only 79 hits, almost 19 minutes per game, 58 giveaways. But look at Pettersson from last year. We're talking 18 points, not 8, sorry. Only 25 penalty minutes, so he barely goes to the box. Minus 2 rating, if I got that right. Have I got that right? Yeah, I might have to relook at that one. But I know the blocks and the hits are the same, are accurate. The time on attack is accurate. The giveaways is accurate, and that he was making $4 million, $4 million there for, I think it was 5 seasons. I forgot to put that in there as well. Okay, so now you see what he's doing. He's playing 2.5 minutes more in Vancouver, and you can't really use any of these stats. We're talking no points, no penalty minutes, no plus minus. 3 blocks, 3 hits. Like in 2 games, that's not great. Okay, but now getting 5.5 times 6. But Chris Tanev is the comp that everyone says. It's like this is the younger version of Chris Tanev. Chris Tanev is 14 points. Okay. Only 16 penalty minutes, plus 20, 142 blocks, which is insane, and only 10 hits, playing 20 minutes a game, 56 giveaways. Okay? So the reason why I show you this is that they're very similar. All these guys are very similar. So Tanev's making $1 million less. He goes, like, he's 35 years old, everyone. And he's got like a 6-year deal. He's going to be playing till he's in his 40s. Pettersson, on the other hand, is 28, going to be 35 when this contract ends. And his numbers are fine. But Zadorov's numbers and Pettersson's numbers are very similar. The only thing is that Pettersson plays more minutes. And I know these are just raw stats, but what you see in the game, the thing is that he is not as physical, but he's good at blocking shots. He gets in the way, but he's not great. He's not elite like Chris Tanev in the block shots, but he's not elite in the hits. So this is where I'm saying he's a solid NHL defensive defenseman. Like, that's where I'm at. He's 6'3", 177 pounds. He's the lightest of all these guys on this team, on this list. Then look at the playoff stats, okay? Zadorov, no, it says Boston, but I should have put Vancouver there because this is the Vancouver one, is that he had 13 games with us, 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 points, 24 penalty minutes. And then he had 3 for plus minus, 18 block shots, 45 hits, 20 minutes played in the playoffs, and he only had 5 giveaways. But look at Pettersson. 7 games. So if you're going to add it, let's just for fun double his stuff. Okay. So 14 games, we'll just say he got 0 goals because that's what he did. He would have 4 points. He'd have +4. Plus minus would be +6. And then you start going, now he's got 24 blocks and he's got only 28 hits. 21 minutes. And he would have 8 giveaways, right? Like that's what we're talking about. So is he better than Zadorov? No. Oh, maybe. Maybe he's just a better hockey player than Zadorov. But you look at Soucy. I mean, Soucy's there. He'd be a little bit better than Soucy in some things, but not in all. Like this is a wild comparison, everyone. It's a wild comparison. So, I don't know. Maybe I brought it up because I just don't want to dismiss it. Oh, he's way better than Zadorov is. Is he? See, he doesn't bring the intimidation. He doesn't bring the hit factor. He doesn't bring the standing up for his teammates. I just can't see Marcus Pettersson dropping the gloves and causing any, fear into the other team. But getting in pathways, making a great first pass, I think he's going to be fine. And it's just discouraging that we didn't sign Zadorov, but maybe Zadorov wasn't going to play well on this team this year. Maybe his numbers would have been worse. I think with Boston, I mean, those numbers for him in Boston versus Vancouver, I don't know, maybe I should just bring that up one more time. I think is the most interesting piece to it, right? Because it's very, very similar. Very similar to what he did. He's got more hits. He's played 3 more games, 3 more minutes a game. But I don't know. It just looks like it's better numbers to me. And I know it's more than numbers. Anyways, wanted to throw it there. Did that help? Or did that make you more angry? I don't know. Marcus says, now we need to sign Hedel and O'Connor, which is true. Do you think we'll have to trade? We don't have to trade Besser. I think we will trade. Yes, no, yes. Okay. I don't know what that means. Are you talking about the thing? Okay, he's 28 and he fits Tocchet's system. That's a great point. We should have signed Tanev instead of letting him walk and signing Calgary. I agree. Hindsight 2020, Jax, you're totally right. He is now on his second contract since then and still good. What were the Canucks thinking back then? Well, I'll tell you what they were thinking, Jax. He had a history of injuries in our city. So they didn't want to spend that money on a player that would be sitting in the press box. Excuse me, sitting in the press box or rehabbing an injury. That is basically what it came down to. So, yeah. But yeah, that's what we were thinking. You're right. Hindsight 2020 was a total fail. Love the signing, a shutdown defenseman. Is he a shutdown defenseman though, Jason? I'm not really sure. Pink sunglasses says Zadorov is garbage. That's not true. Zadorov flaked out on us and went to Boston, according to Rutherford. Yes, the stats is that we offered the same contract. He was offended by then, and he walked somewhere else. I do not think Zadorov is garbage. I mean, look at the stats, guys. Look at the way he plays. He's not garbage, in my opinion, but you can have that opinion. MP is better on the PK and better at moving the puck. Okay, that's fair. Zadorov is more physical, though. I know, and that's the thing. It's like, which one do you want more? But okay, so if you guys think that Marcus Pettersson is clearly better, I mean, like, are we talking like, is it here? Or is it like here? Or is it like here? You know what I mean? Because I'm thinking the gap is slow. Because Zadorov hits and intimidates and it's tough to play against. I mean, I'm telling you right now, Oilers in the playoffs, Vegas Golden Knights, the Winnipeg Jets, whoever we're playing, they're like, they're glad Zadorov's gone. They don't want to play a guy like that. So it's like, oh, you got Marcus Pettersson. I mean, he's solid, he's good, but it's not like he puts the fear in anyone, right? So, but yes, you're right. So there's two different things with him. I've been an MP3 fan for many years, Tyler says. That's cool. That's cool. Hey, Murray, welcome again from New Zealand. Good to have you here. Zadorov leads the league in penalty minutes. Dodged a bullet there. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that is a negative for sure. Playoff hockey is not the same game as regular season hockey. Zadorov may be the better playoff player. I don't think maybe, but I think he is. You like this deal? What a steal! I'm glad. Marcus could have easily been given 6.5 to 7, especially with the cap going up. I heard that he wanted 6, but because they added years, they dropped it to 5.5. Canucks game vloggers here. I'm starting to like that we didn't re-sign Zadorov despite how much I wanted him back. Okay, that's cool. Tyler, you're up in Prince Rupert. I have been close to Prince Rupert. I have never been there yet. I actually had a trip planned. I was going to be leaving, and I phoned I was for a job interview, actually, and I phoned the employer, said, hey, I'm just leaving now, just making sure everything's good for the weekend for the interview, and told me maybe you shouldn't come. That was when I first got out of college. I was pretty discouraged by that, but, everything worked out in a good way. I know 76 giveaways is insane, right? It's totally insane. Jack says, I love Zadorov, but he just used Vancouver to leverage a better deal from Boston. He always wanted to play in Boston over Vancouver, sadly. That possibly, I don't really know the background information of that. And if he does, I mean, that's his prerogative. He's allowed to do that. Rutherford is a smart hockey guy. He knows MP3 is a sound defenseman. This is the only thing. We make all these trades with Pittsburgh, right? And it's like, I understand he knows him, he likes him, and I hope he's right. Zadorov just used Vancouver. Stats aren't everything. Marcus is a much better puck mover and defender. Yes, I agree. But like Mike just mentioned, that Zadorov is a much better hitter, right? And much better playoff producer that we've seen there. So, there is a valid argument for both, okay? Mancini is a slow dagger in this deal. Apparently, New York Rangers didn't want to part with him. That's true. I think MPD took a discount to play here. I think he did, but they gave him more years, right? Marcus, Lefty All Around says, Marcus is worth every penny. I have tunnel vision with Canucks, but after first game, I was thoroughly impressed with Marcus. Okay. Yes, I did. Progo, that I agree. I said he's a defensive defenseman. Absolutely, he is. Yeah. That's why I'm putting up block shots, hits, those other things that matter as well, right? Are you not entertained? Marcus Maximus, okay. Hockey first. Marcus was also paired with a risky D partner like Carlson and Letang and had decent stats. Good point. That's a really good point. Glad you posted in there. Pettersson is a 2-3 defender. I would say, and Zadorov is a 4-5. I think in Vancouver, Zadorov became a 4. Yeah, that's fine. Give who a break. Yeah, he's only played 2 games, and I've been impressed by him, Carol. Absolutely. Rod is like 10 of rules. 35 is not that old. Yeah, it is in hockey. 35 is old in hockey. Marcus Pettersson is making substantially less than 10 of in his prime cap, inflation adjusted. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying there. Jack says MPD is a Forsling type of contract. This is a steal. We got to replace JT Miller, though. Need more scoring. Absolutely. Steve, the fan base is in love with Elias Pettersson, our young stud, 20 years old. He was fantastic last night. Marcus stick worth is elite. Marcus's stick is worth is I don't know what that is saying. Lefty all around. I wouldn't even compare Marcus to Zadorov. Like night and day. Zadorov gives the puck away how many times a game in his own end? Again, if you look at it, so again with Vancouver, he only gave the puck away 20 times, right? And he gave away the puck this year 76 times, but Marcus Pettersson in Pittsburgh gave away the puck 60. So I'm just saying it's not as night and day as you kind of say it is, but I do appreciate the comment. So simple and effective, efficient. MP3 puts the fish in efficiency. PD is not 6'5", is 6'5", not 6'3". Oh, okay. Let me just make sure I have that right. I do apologize if I have that wrong. Does it show it on this one? No, I have to go to this one here. Thank you for bringing that up. Let's just see. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. He's still the same height, right? Let's go to there, and we'll go to Marcus Pettersson. He is 6'3" according to Hockey Reference. So I don't know. Don't know what to tell you. Yeah, he's a stud. He's a young stud. I'm going to bed now. Got to give a good night. Our defense is looking really good, man. Now we need another top forward. Yeah, Jackets wild day. Everyone's like, we need a power forward. It's like, well, we had one. We need another center. Well, we had one. Anyways. Marcus Pettersson is way better than Zadorov. I don't know if I would say that, but maybe he is. But Pettersson would be more solid defensively. Everything is not shown on stats. I agree. I've talked about that. He's definitely better than Zadorov. Not everything is stats. I agree. Intimidation counts. The big hits counts. What you do in the playoffs counts. I agree. He's 6'5". You're correct. Okay. Still 177 pounds. All right, everyone. Maybe doesn't put up the same stats in the playoffs, but defensively he's going to be elite. Okay. That's a fair comment. Zadorov is an intention grabber on the ice. MP3 is more solid all around, and it looks like, yeah, Dan, that's how I would see it. The stats do not show zone exits, successful breakouts. No, it doesn't, Kevin. It doesn't. I wouldn't compare Pettersson to Zadorov. He's more like Forsling. Okay, so let's bring up Forsling then. Let's bring up Forsling. Gustav Forsling. So we're talking, guys, 55 games, 20 points, 26 plus 26 in the penalty, the plus minus, only 10 penalty miss. Let's look at the blocks. Oh, yeah, he's only got 62 and 49, 62 blocks, 49 hits. Yeah, so he's in the same category. They look very similar. Yeah. Lyndon says, we'll see in a few years if it's overpaid. That's true. It's too early to say, right? Marcus Pettersson is one of the best defensive D-men the Canucks have ever had. Well, he's only played 2 games. We can't really say that, right? You can't say that yet. Let's see what he does, everyone, before we put him in the Ring of Honor here. Canucks are not very tough, though. Oh, but I thought Pettersson was better than Zadorov. Blazer fan is like, we did good. Yeah, you love that first pass. Zafri Bear makes me wonder who we go after. So I'm going to wish for the immovable Crosby. Yeah, that's not happening, but you can dream. I keep dreaming of Bedard coming to Vancouver. I know it's not going to happen. I loved Zadorov in the playoffs. Absolutely, me too. We got a solid decor for a while. Yeah, that you've been barking about that for a while, Blazer fan, that we need to improve our D. Robert says, before you speak on something you don't know, maybe you should tuck it and take a look at it. At the fights MP3 has had in the league. I saw one of them. It was terrible. So Yeah, but you're not going to say that MP3 has better fights than Zadorov, are you? Like, MP3 is not a fighter, is he? Like, how many fights has he had? I'll do hockeyfights.com and see what I can find. For 2.5 on the cap hit, it's not bad. What do you mean 2.5? I don't understand that. Boston is Bettman's favorite team, really? I hope Joshua can step it up in that department. That'd be nice. The eye test shows MP3 is a step up, a crossover of Myers and Hronek. The numbers don't show positive direction stats. Okay, and I think that's a fair comment. Heedle's is already signed at $4 million for a few years still. That's a good question. Let me just look. He is signed for 3 more years at $4.4 million. Yeah. Cool, eh? Not cool, but interesting. If you think Zadorov is a better defenseman, you don't know much about hockey. Thank you so much for your opinion, Robert. Thank you, because like, are you kidding me? This is the thing. Is someone not allowed to have a different opinion? Is someone not allowed to show you the stats and say, "Hey, there's an argument here that we can legitimately have"? Yes, maybe Pettersson's better defensively, but he doesn't bring that physicality, the intimidation, the hits, that part. Robert, just so you know, Canucks are still being called soft with him there. We just made these trades, and they're like, they even got softer. Yeah, part of that is because Zadorov's gone. Part of that's because Miller's gone. So, I mean, cool. You can say all you want. Go for it. You say whatever you want. At the end of the day, we got to make the playoffs. We got to try to win a cup. And hopefully Marcus Pettersson helps us to do that. Murray likes the contract. Does it start next season? I think it does. That's a good question. Let me just look. It starts next season. Yep, not this season. Next season. Seth, you need a guy like Zadorov in the playoffs, but having a shutdown defense is also really valuable. I think that's a fair comment. I believe DPD fills the Zaddy role soon. Yeah, that's good. I don't think he'll get. I don't know. Maybe is he going to get to that many hits and that many thunderous hits? Maybe. Everyone loves EP25. Kevin, why do people think we lose Besser? It's not. It's just how many years do you want to give? Do you want to pay 8 times 8? I'm not a big fan of that. But we will not get a sniper for what he is looking for. Doesn't need to be fast. To be fastest, just right place, right time kind of guy. That's a fair statement. Absolutely fair statement, Kevin. Here's the thing. Does he decline? Is he going to play 8 great years for $8 million? That's where I'm not sure that's going to happen. I do not want to give Brock Besser an 8-year contract. I think it's a bad move to do. I'd be open to 6. I'd love 5 or 4, but we'll see. I just have this feeling that Brock Besser will not be on the team come trade deadline. And there you go. Heard Besser is possibly going to the Jets. There you go. Look at the giveaways and Zadorov's own end, probably off the charts. And go lefty all around. Please look it up. Send it to me. He's not, Callum. He's not. He's a better defenseman. End of subject. End of subject? Okay, that's fine. Robert, cool. Canucks management should acquire Tyler Toffoli, Mike says. Again, slow. Not sure I'd want him, really. Doesn't really help what the direction the team's going in. I heard a Boston fan on another channel say that Zadorov is the stupidest D-man he's ever seen in a Boston uniform. Wow. Yeah, so Boston fan said that. Okay. SK93 says Marcus Pettersson is a top 5 defensive defenseman. Is that true? I don't know. I don't know. Zadorov is a solid number 5 defenseman, but nothing more. Well, he wasn't on our team. He wasn't on our team. In the playoffs, he was on the second pairing, everyone. So maybe he's not there. MP3 and Zadorov are different players, both with advantages. I agree with that statement, but I think MP3 is more of what Vancouver needs long term. That's fair. That said, they still need to find a physical presence to watch over EP, 40, and Hughes. I agree. Canucks era believes that EP3 is worth the money. When the goons come a hacking, right? Yeah, exactly. And they do after Hughes and our star players. Yeah. DPD will be the next Zadorov. Okay. Ever been to Victoria? Of course. I live in Nanaimo. I've been to Victoria a ton, Steve. Absolutely. The capital. MP will stick up for himself and the team, Chris. Okay. I'm looking forward to seeing that. He moves the puck, skates faster, and disrupts plays far more effectively than Big Z will ever. In the playoffs, they're the bullies and then the bullied. Zadorov was the bully, and so was Miller. Petey and Hughes, on the other hand. Yeah. I don't see why they would wait and see how he fits in before extending him. Well, they extended him today. So they didn't wait. DPD has the sandpaper. MPD is one of the top defenders in the league, not in terms of offense or toughness, though. Juleson is a much better hitter. Does that mean that he is better than EP3? No. No, I don't think that. But Zadorov's a way better hitter than Juleson is. So, and he scores points. So, in the playoffs, Edmonton couldn't feed off their crowd when Zadorov was on the ice. There you go. Do we sign Lankinen? Are we trading him? I think we sign him personally. Matt, why does Alvin love overpaying players? He gave Marcus a $30 million ring on the third date. Seems a bit early for long-term commitment. Yeah, good point. Saw a cool interview with Buble about the Canucks today. I hadn't seen that one yet, Major. Mark, good to have you here. RevTrev, you can't dwell on old players like Big Z and JT. For great playoffs, I agree. Great for playoffs, I agree. Well, isn't that the point? Like, we're trying to win a Stanley Cup. But at the end of the day, don't wear Canucks jersey. I know, I'm just doing a comparison. And I did the comp with Chris Tanev. Everyone's like, he's just like Chris Tanev. So I did the comp there. I also took a guy from our team, Carson Soucy, and he's on our team. So I'm not really sure why that doesn't please you. But I knew that when this contract came out, the comparisons for Zadorov would come up and say, well, why didn't we just go get Zadorov? So that's why I included him tonight. So that's why. What is the scouting report on Mancini? There's a lot of hype about this kid, and I'm not sure what he projects to be, but he's a right-handed shot defenseman, 22 years old, I believe, and I really hope that he becomes something amazing. Personally, wants us to keep Besser. I understand that. It depends on price and term, but I like having him on the team. And Mancini's projected as a number 7. Okay, so that's Juleson's role, right? Don't forget the cap will go up, and I think Marcus can be traded if needed. Do you know the terms? Yes, I already posted that. That was earlier on. Here it is right here. He gets a full no move, no trade for the first 3 years, and then it's a 15 no trade in the final 3 years of the deal. So. Do you think the Pettersson, the original, will get traded? I think that it's still in play. I don't know if he will. I don't know if it's a great, well, depends what we get in return. There's a lot of me that, like, if we get a decent return, I would trade Pettersson, but I don't think the team's going to do it. But They have looked at it, and I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility because they have to say, did we make a mistake and do we move him now? Because honestly, he hasn't been great in the last 20 games. And okay, so he's a 5.6 in terms of potential. Right now, he's a 7 at best. Interesting. EP25 probably will be better than MP though. Could be. They both play the same position too. So it'll go Hughes, MP3, and EP25. That's what the left-hand side is going to be. And I'm pretty happy with that. He will make RD better. MP3, yeah. I think he has to. That's why they signed him to that. Susie could improve. He did play well last year. Yeah, he could. He's been terrible this year. That's even worse. 6'5" and only 177 pounds. I know. That's kind of the point I'm making it. Get over yourself, Rev. I got over it. Yeah, Callum, just a heads up, bro. Like, I think it's kind of weird how triggered you are about a comparison and about, hey, let's talk about this because this is what's coming up from fans. That's why I'm talking about it. You know me. I love Zadorov. I love Miller. I always will. But you to actually say this, leave him out of the Canucks Discord now from now on, or quit being a Canucks fan. That's next level strange, Callum. Just saying. Just saying. Like, I can't compare them. I can't talk about that, or I have to quit being a fan. That's a little over the top. 6'3" or 6'5" on skates. Like that one. Love Elias Pettersson too, the other D-man. Yes, he's fantastic. Yeah, right. Hey, relax, Del. Don't take any personal shots at him, please. Don't tell the man how to run his streams, and you certainly don't police fandom. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it's okay to have a conversation, isn't it? Not gonna lie, I'd want Zadorov instead of him. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with you saying that. You can feel that way, but it doesn't matter. Like what Callum's saying is, it's over. He's moved on. He's gone, and I get that. I understand that full well. Yeah, I wish we still had him, but yeah. Hogue sticks up for his teammates. He does. Yeah, Hoaglander does for sure. It's just that your smallest guys are your toughest guys, and that's not always the best thing. If Canucks are a fast and puck moving, gets that puck up the ice and out in the neutral zone, that's all that matters. That's a good point. I don't know what his thoughts are at all. Definitely need more toughness. I agree. Although I think it's got to be a forward. DPD is nice though. Yep. He's been in the same amount of fights as Zadorov. Okay. Has he won them? Yeah, exactly, man. That was uncalled for. I agree. Personalized. To each their own. Exactly. In Frank Saravelli's eyes, Marcus Pettersson is a fifth defenseman. Exactly. That's another thing. It's like, here's a guy, and you guys are like, he doesn't know hockey. It's like, this guy literally gets paid for a living to know hockey. And everyone's mad because he said something negative about the Canucks. And it's like, maybe he's right. And I hope he's dead wrong. So, Zadorov was a good player. When he was with the Canucks, yep, we had no replacements at the time. With Pettersson coming in, it definitely an upgrade. Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. I wouldn't say Pettersson and Zadorov are better than one another. They bring completely different styles. It's like comparing apples and oranges. Okay, that's a fair comment. If we need physicality, we can add a fourth line grinder, but not paying $5 million for hits. Okay. Have you seen the leaked Utah logos? They are drafts not finalized. Yeah, I like the Mammoth one a lot. Actually, I like the Outlaws one too. I like them both. Hughes is the best D-man in the league, and he's got no physical. No, and he's not physical. Yeah, he's the best offensive defenseman in the league for sure. And also, he's very good defensively. Yeah. Yep, he's very good at it. Very good at it. But he was criticized as being the guy that didn't, right? So just a heads up on that. I'm going to ask DPD for a stick in Canucks fan marriage. In fact, maybe he'll give me a free season ticket, but if I could be his number one fan, that is hilarious. Yeah, and that didn't sound right. Ugh, nasty. We need to shift our focus to the forwards, in my opinion. Well, we'll do that another day, Jack. This is a video on D, and I've been asking the question, what's up with Elias Pettersson for a long time. Besser, we'll talk about that another time. I'd only sign Besser for 5 times 7 point. Yeah. I know, man. That's what I'm saying. You have to make the playoffs to succeed in the playoffs. Zadorov might be the bigger playoff performer, but Marcus Pettersson helps you get there in the first place more than Zadorov. That's fair. It's fair. Markey PD contract, I'd say, is a good deal. 6 years might be cutting it, but the money is great. I agree. I would have gone 5 times 6 instead of the other way around. Yeah. I don't know anything about the Tocchet one at all, personalized. Zadorov is one of a kind player. Not many players like him love his personality. JT Miller still hasn't been replaced. It's hard to replace that guy. Thoughts on Alvin signing bad contracts, then immediately trading them? I'm starting to lose trust in him. Yeah, that's why I made that video, right? Who's to blame? You might want to check that one out. I want to check that out. I agree. Besser is traded soon. They will not risk losing his value. And honestly, if he isn't willing to get a deal done ASPT, then good on management. That's true. It's true. I had enough time to hit the mute button on that one. Okay. What was Chris on Canucks? I don't have a problem with this deal, cap increase, and also Pettersson is a top 10 defensive defenseman. This is a steal of a contract. They can sell the contract. They can sell the contract for the rest of the season if need be. Okay. In the final 3 years are going to be interesting. No movement clause, 33 to 35 years old. I know Matt, that's a good point. Zadorov worth a third and a fifth. Pettersson is worth a first rounder. Right there shows you who is more valued in the NHL. You're right. You're right, SK93. You're totally right. The league values him more, and that's just true. Trev, how much cap space do we have? Can you comment on how you'd use it? Okay, that is a good question. Let's bring it up. Okay, so right now, let me just refresh it. Okay, everyone. Can I refresh it? Well, I got to stop sharing this. Let me refresh it. Okay. And then we'll bring it right back up because so we're at $7 million that we have projected cap space, current cap space, deadline. I don't understand how all those numbers work well, but you might even have more because you might be moving Brock Besser out of here. So it depends on what you move back. You have room to bring in another guy or two if you want to make a run for the playoffs. But if you don't think we're going to make the playoffs, then you hold it and then you do something in the off season. But, all these other things kick in. So it's important to be, in my opinion, it's important to be wise with the finances on that one. But I would love to add a guy that's going to be a second line center. or if Brock Besser leaves. Actually, Brock Besser, I think that we can have internal replacements for him. Do I think the Canucks go all in this year or play the cards and go next year? We could make a solid push at the Stars line. Yeah, Callum, good question. I do think that I don't think they're going to go all in this year. And it's not that they don't go for next. Yeah, I think they'll go for next year a little bit more. So, yeah. TD, I agree. Mark, I could see the Besser contract coming during the Four Nations. Yeah, wouldn't say he's gone yet, but if he reaches the deal, the deadline without one, you got to trade him. I agree. Zadorov and Miller are different kind of bullies. Zaddy bullies opposing players while Miller bullies teammates. I would disagree because Miller does bully the other teams. In fact, his last penalty against when he was on Vancouver, he had an interference call and just smoked that guy. Was it against Dallas? Can't remember who it was. He just randomly just nailed him. So he just plays aggressive hockey. So Zadorov is like a small Bufflin. I think they're close to the same size, aren't they, Matt? Miller is like a small Zadorov. All three are good. No need to care so much. Okay. Point the finger, Rev. There's 3 more pointing back at yourself. No more Boston love here or ever is all I'm saying. You get triggered when we ask you to move off of old news. Okay, Callum, that's fine, Callum. You can believe that. Guess what, Callum? I want to talk about this. People are talking about this, buddy. That's why we're having the conversation. I just think that it's like you don't like the conversation, and that's okay. You don't have to like the conversation. Don't like the conversation. That's fine. But we're talking about it. So yeah, Marcus is a terrible fighter, but at least he isn't scared. Okay. I think MP3 is the perfect calming presence this team needed. Yeah, that's fair. That's probably very true. Solid on defense, positive, vocal leadership. I don't know about if he's vocal in leadership in the room. Sidney Crosby thinks he's the best defensive defender in the league. Saravelli thinks he's a top 5 defender. It's all about perspective. It's true. Yeah, I haven't seen that part yet, but it was Cupper that said that from NHL Network. He was top 5. Comparison is the way to measure your errors and victories. Ultimately, comparison is great if you can learn from your mistakes. Management does not care about putting out a product that the public likes. They just want to win games. I think you just have to add Luke Shanahan if you want the same type of physicality that Zadorov brought. Yep. Last year, we loved this decor. Now we are turning on everyone but Hughes. How Rome has fallen. Respect, Trev. Yeah, RevTrev. Thanks. I don't know if I'm like, yeah, I think the decor has been very bad this year, so this is an answer to try to fix it. He has fought a few times, not the best, but he's not scared to drop the gloves. Terrible fighter. Luke Shen is leading the NHL defenseman in hits, and Sherwood is beating everybody by a landslide. Okay, let's scroll down. They didn't sign EP3 to fight. I agree. They didn't. Okay, I'm not going to go long tonight, so I'm at the last few comments here. Matt, the other teams have better options, in my opinion. We can trade him anywhere. Jets first is it too low? Yeah, I think that's the thing, right? Let's just see. Jets have Niedermeyer, Barlow, for centers. Okay, Barlow, that might be good, but we'll see. I mean, I wouldn't want that straight up, of course. Here, there's no trade freeze during the Four Nations. Could be a feeding frenzy. That'd be interesting. Imagine you're on the team, you get traded. You're playing in that thing. Besser and EP40 are big factors cap if they stay or go. Lots of space if they go. Yeah. Do I think the Canucks go after Owen Tippett if he's available? I don't think they do, but maybe he can. Now they can afford an East Van fixer-upper. Crosby's not coming to Vancouver, in my opinion, but 99 scored 92 says, I like being part of a Canucks conversation that isn't nasty and immature, just a sharing of perspectives and opinions, even if they're not in unison. I agree. I think we can agree to disagree. There can be diversity. I have no problem with that. Matt says, I'm just saying the rumors are there. Opinions don't change GM decisions. I agree. Yeah, there are rumors. Yeah. He's not going anywhere. He's staying in Pittsburgh, everyone. I could definitely see him traded. Not sure it's the Jets, though, so they don't have the assets. So, yeah, Besser, we'll see. There's a lot of rumors, like Trippin is saying about a Susie Holander and a top 10 protected first for Josh Norris. I think that's just way too much for Josh Norris. But if that happens, it happens. I think if the Canucks can get in the playoffs this year, they could be a pretty tough opponent. See, the thing, Major, is I actually don't agree with that. It's like we're playing Vegas or the Jets, or Edmonton. I think Edmonton rolls over us at this stage. Like, they are not afraid of this team anymore. But maybe I'm wrong on that. I want Vancouver to beat Edmonton. Don't get me wrong. But let's just take Edmonton out of the picture. Vegas, I think, is way better than us. And I think the Jets are way better than us. They have proved that this year already from what I've seen. So, but maybe the Canucks turn around and maybe it's beautiful and glorious and we make some noise. Wouldn't that be awesome? I'm with you. I want that to happen. But if the Jets give us Ehlers, I like him. He is fast. They are looking to move Ehlers too, so that could be a possibility. You think we'll still be talking about Z after this season? Oh, I will be. I just love the guy. But I think he's making too much money for too long, so I understand why the Canucks moved on. But then they switched, and then they offered him the same amount, and he just chose Boston. So it is what it is. And you're allowed to turn the page. I agree. I think Besser gets traded to Columbus for Cole Sillinger and another piece. That's interesting. I got to look into that a little more. Okay, last couple. We are all aware that we cannot replace JT Miller, and you will all find the same problem replacing Besser. No matter the cap space, all of the other teams have cap space too. That's correct. And I'm just at the end. I've liked Hedel quite a bit, so maybe we don't need another center. Yeah, he's been solid to start. It's just that he has injury history, Jack. By the way, almost 300 people in here. This is awesome. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Consider hitting the like and subscribe. I'd appreciate that. Maybe a really good winger, sign Rantanen. Oh, man, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Jets are frauds. Oh, man, I don't know about that one. We don't like talking about players quit, and we are playing for one of our arch enemies, Don't talk about JT Miller. It's done and dusted. Okay. You don't have to. I can. You and I have, Callum, you and I have the same jersey, bro. We're going to be talking about him for years and years and years. You know that. So, come on, man. Jets could choke like last year. Could. Yeah. If we get the same Jets as last year, then get Dallas and Vegas, then Edmonton would be a perfect world dreaming again. Yeah. It's disappointing to see how quickly players are turned in, but it comes with the most passionate fans in the NHL. We expect so much and demand so much more than the letdowns are impactful. Yeah, you're right. We expect a lot in Vancouver. Besser and something for Ehlers. Yeah, I don't mind this trade at all, Matt. That's one. Would I trade Besser for a first rounder and a young forward or prospect? I'd consider it. Depends on how high the draft pick is. Let's do a show on how much you love ex-Canuck players playing for Calgary. Okay. There's none of them. Markstrom's gone, or not Mark. Yeah, Markstrom's gone, right? Yeah, and so is Kuzmenko. Zadorov's not there anymore. That's fine. Matt wouldn't add much more than Besser. He's similar value to Ehlers. Yeah, true. I think Ehlers is better. I think Ehlers is better. Yeah, I know. Jack and Matt, why can't we keep Besser and get Ehlers too? We can't. We can't afford them both. Pretty sure if we make the playoffs, we go against LA. It depends if we're the last wild card, right? So, could we even get a first or Besser still? Thought that was shipped to sell. I don't know. I agree, Kevin. I was just saying Jets don't have much to give us. Matt, I'm not saying you have to. I simply stated a rumor, then answering questions. That's cool. Got to have faith in this management. Yeah, I hope they do. Matt, yeah, Ehlers is better. He is better. He would be an awesome addition. I would love that trade. Yeah, exactly. Vilander is a second line. He would be. Vilander is a right-handed defenseman, not a right winger. I think they retain on 50% on a Besser trade and get back to young forwards plus. Yeah. No, I think you're going a little over the top, Callum. You're going over the top. That's why people are pushing back. Just being honest with you. 11.6 months since Pettersson has played well. And he's going to play good tomorrow night against San Jose, guys. He's going to play good. Trust me. I think that's why he's on the block, because he always plays good against bad teams. So he's going to play good tomorrow night. You watch. Pettersson's going to be 303 people here. I think that's why he's on the block too. DPD has replaced him. Yeah. What? Who's on the block? Oh, Susie. Yeah, Susie. I especially think, dreaming, that Canadian teams should help each other improve so that we can all dominate this league. Yeah, OG PD will get a hat trick tomorrow. Yeah, he's going to get I think he's going to get at least 2 goals or 3 points. No, he's talking about Boston. Boston is our arch enemies. But in fairness, the Rangers are too. They also beat us in Game 7. So Besser would kill us in the playoffs if we traded him to the Jets. Oh, probably. Love the show, RevTrev, but always up for a friendly debate on support Dorf. I'm cool with that. Got to keep it fun, though. Absolutely. Okay, I got to run, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. An hour and 7 minutes. I was hoping to be about 45 minutes, but all of you just kept on going on, and I appreciate you being here, connecting. What a great night. I'll be doing a live stream after tomorrow night's game, and hope you have a fantastic evening. Thanks so much for being here, and let's cheer this team on no matter what. Hope we win tomorrow night. Go Canucks, go.